Hello and welcome to episode 6, part 1, Serial Killers.
With special guest, my lovely wife, it's Sally Langan.
Hello. So basically this episode is on serial killers, and the reason why I'm on this episode is because I am one, really. No, not really.
I'll calm her down,
I actually like real life serial killers and watching documentaries and on real serial killers. So yeah, that's why they put me on this episode, and
that's pretty much it. We hope you enjoyed this show, and but no, so it's about serial killers, and pretty sure it's all like kind of fascinated with serial killers. I mean, like, I've often wondered, like, what the fuck makes someone do that?
Definitely, and I always think as well, like, I'd love to get into their head and how they turn off their emotions and stuff to kill somebody. Like, when normally for normal people, you feel like emotional, like it's not something you can do, but with serial killers, they just do it. They have no emotion, they don't care. I always find that a bit fascinating, scary, but fascinating.
But Matthew's not allowed to leave. We're going to put him in a basement. But yeah, I mean, and yeah, so like, with like serial killers, it's obviously, this is a show about films and that sort of stuff, all based horror films and that. And obviously with serial killers, it tends to basically spawn loads of films and that sort of stuff. And I'd say some of my sort of favourite serial killer films are, one's Bundy.
That's mine as well.
Well, that was definitely a very, very good. It's really, really screwed up. You know what I mean? Because like Bundy was a highly intelligent person, and who escaped, I think, twice from prison.
And that's the scary part, that he escaped from prison and he was able to get his victims from feigning an injury. And what else did he do to get them? I know it was like he used to fake a broken arm or broken leg.
Broken arm, yeah. And he just used to befriend people basically, like so like the actual prison guards, and they would let their guard down. Prison guards let their guard down, and and then he basically escaped. And one time he escaped, and I think he
went
on a rampage, didn't he?
Yeah, but he killed like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
He brutally raped her and that sort of stuff, and he's a sick motherfucker, and he was also a necrophiliac as well, as like a lot of serial killers fucking are, But the scary thing about serial killers is, and it really is a scary thing because it's real life, is they're family men, and that's something that is fucking.
They always have a wife and children sometimes, and
how they can separate from being like a normal person to fucking living like a it's another life doing that sort of shit. It's just something that bubbles.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Bundy, my favourite Bundy film was Deliberate Stranger.
Yeah.
Which was a 2-part mini-series type TV thing, but it's definitely good.
Yeah, worth watching. Also, To Catch a Killer, which is based on John Wayne Gacy. Now, John Wayne Gacy was a very manipulative person. He was a politician. He was also, it's like a builder's foreman, basically.
Dressed as a clown.
Yes, and he dressed as a clown.
I hate clowns, by the way. Hate clowns.
We covered that in one of the episodes. But and he was just a psychopath basically. I think he killed like 33 like sort of like young boys pretty much. Like they're like 15, 16-year-olds. And he was a sick bastard. And
did he eat them as well?
I don't think he was a cannibal. No, he wasn't a cannibal.
No. He just kept the things in his house
Yeah,
I'm sure that was in the movie.
Every serial killer tends to do that. They always keep their little mementos, don't they? They always do that kind of thing, But yeah, he was just a bastard. I mean, like he pretty much like sort of dressed as the clown, and then he basically would like say, and you want to see a trick, and then he would basically like put them in handcuffs. And then he'd go, I'll show you pretty much how to get out of them, sort of thing. And then obviously once he's got them at their mercy, then
don't fall for that trick
basically,
ever.
They're pretty much gone. And it's the Hillside Stranglers. That was a good film. That was done. I don't think you liked that very much.
I didn't like it at all. You said it was
because yeah, it is very freaky. It's you know, it's, I mean, like, because like with like serial killers, obviously it's true. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, you know, they say loosely based, but you know,
Yeah.
these are sick puppies, aren't they? You know, they are very, very, very evil people.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
So
I
why
mean,
didn't you like it?
I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. I was disappointed when you tell me something's going to freak me out.
It needs to
I
freak
just
you
wasn't.
out.
yeah.
I'm immune to it. I kill people at weekends. It just doesn't impress me.
Well, at least it's the weekends then, and not actual weekdays.
Yeah, I work the
Oh,
weekdays.
yeah, and then you've basically got, I mean, it's like Dharma, right? You know, I mean,
He was the cannibal.
Oh, he was. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it was one of them.
you know, I would never want to give it any serial killers like credit, but like he actually came out and like, because like every serial killer, they always have an excuse. Oh, I was abused when I was young. I had this done to me. I had that done to me, and that's what turned me into this person. Well, I call bullshit on that. At least he came out and said, "Listen, I'm a sick person. I was born sick. I have something mentally wrong with me. This is what makes me do that." Not he pretty much said, basically, I had a good upbringing. My parents like treated me well. They did everything they could to basically make me have a decent life. But I'm very sick in the head. I'm he's beyond help basically. And yeah, so like that's the only serial killer I've ever heard actually come out and say that kind of thing. Like normally it's like, oh yeah, I was abused when I was a kid, so this is what made me, it's like turn into this. And I just think that's bullshit. Two wrongs don't make a right. As simple as that.
Definitely not.
Jeremy Renner was in the film, wasn't he? Dharma.
Yes, he played Dharma. Yes,
Yeah.
pretty good actor.
Good actor.
But yeah, it's a. I didn't really think much of the film, to tell you the truth, like Dharma.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's,
Did I see it? No.
I don't think you have.
No.
No, it's not my cup of tea. And I'm sure people will know why. But yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, then you've basically got it's like Eileen Wuornos, who it's like Charlie's Theron. Actually,
I
won
did
an
like
Oscar.
that movie. I did like that movie. It was very good how they made her
Look so
she was,
different.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was
God.
obviously she's a very beautiful lady, and they made her look ugly.
Haggard as fuck.
And
basically.
And she played the role really well.
Yeah, and that was a pretty decent movie with Christina Ricci as a lover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely worth. I mean, I'm not too sure how many people she actually killed, because it was based. Obviously, it was John she killed, wasn't it? Like, she was a prostitute and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's definitely worth a watch. I mean, that's why it won her the Oscar at the end of the day.
Yeah, she's good in that
Yeah,
film.
definitely. I mean, what about like serial killers? What
They
ones
haven't
come
made
to?
one. They haven't made one on the Green River Killer, have they?
Yes.
They
Oh, they
did.
did.
They
The
did.
Riverman.
Oh,
Yes.
they did.
Isn't that a
I've seen
two
that.
part? I think
Yeah.
that was. It wasn't like a one straight film.
No, it had what's his name in it?
What's the film where John Cusack is a serial killer?
Frozen Ground.
Frozen Ground. Yeah, but
Yeah.
what serial killer is that based on?
I don't think it's based on.
It is.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm still trying to think of what that guy's name is.
But anyway, it's a Gary Ridgway. Basically, he was the actual. It's a Green River Killer, and unfortunately, I share a birthday with that bastard.
See the one that Bundy helped catch?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've watched several documentaries on him on the Crime Channel, and every time I'm still amazed at how many women he's killed, how
49.
long he got away for it. He was also a married man, had a lovely sweet wife. She had no
Kids as well,
idea.
right?
Kids and family had no idea, because I've done documentaries where they've interviewed the family as well as the wife, and they just had no idea. I mean, he looks a bit creepy though.
Oh, he looks very
I think
creepy.
he looks dodgy and creepy.
Got the glasses, the eyes
But
going
when
in.
they
Like,
show,
you know.
like, they showed a Christmas video of him with his family and stuff, but you think blood wouldn't melt in his mouth, and then he's killed all these prostitutes. Over and how long did he get away? Do you know?
When he killed 49. That
At least.
Yeah. That's what they
Probably
say.
more.
At least 49,
Way
but
more.
he's been credited with like quite a bit more than that. Because obviously they haven't found bodies and stuff like that. So like they're kind of like basically looking at the areas, because he was around. I think it's like Seattle, I think Portland as well, and maybe a few other places. And then obviously they're just checking like base missing persons in those sort of areas.
And
But
the,
yeah,
and the funny thing was that they'd actually interviewed him like ages and ages ago, like not long after. Oh, I can't even describe it. You know, like at some point they interviewed him, and they decided that it wasn't him or whatever, and let him go. So they could have got him a lot sooner, but
and it showed
there
as
wasn't
well.
enough evidence. Or...
Basically showed like the actual court case,
Mm.
and it showed like all the victims' families.
Yeah.
Basically, like he was like standing up, and they were saying what they were going to say to him. Obviously, the majority of them were like cursing him out and saying, "I hope you."
And that's where you really saw a different look in his face from, like, say, what they showed him to be like in his Christmas video and stuff with the family, and when they showed him in the courtroom with the families being faced by them, it was just his face just stone faced.
There was one guy though who looked a bit like ZZ Top, and he basically murdered his daughter, and he actually said, you know, obviously everyone's cursing you out and all this sort of stuff, but he goes, I'm a Christian man, and I've got to find it in my heart to forgive you. And me personally, I would never forgive a person who actually did that. You're scum. You're a piece of shit. You deserve to die in the most cruelest, horriblest way. But there are some people though who can like find it in their heart to forgive them. I don't understand. I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
Obviously, I went to church for a while, and a Christian church, and they said the same thing to us. You know, you always have to forgive people that have wronged you and things like that. But it's definitely difficult.
Could you ever forgive someone?
No.
Not if they murdered somebody, you know. But I think, you know, sometimes you've got to forgive people when they're just doing everyday wrong things to you. But murdering someone, your family...
If they're treading on your shoes, you can forgive them. They take someone from your freaking family, then I'm sorry. Like, you know.
It depends how heavy they are. If they tread on your shoes and they weigh a lot, it hurts. I'm not forgiving that.
But a murder you will. But yeah, no, it's I personally just don't understand how people can actually kind of really forgive people like that.
I'll just have to watch that movie then.
The Riverman.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking who that actor is again. Thanks for that.
It's alright, make you think.
Yeah, well, that'd be something to IMDb.
He was in Flight. He was in Flight as well.
In Flight with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, he plays his friend. He's in a lot of stuff. He was in Star Trek.
Oh God.
No, I've got you as well.
So Star Trek, the
new one. Yeah, he played.
What role did he play?
Captain Kirk's dad, maybe. I can't remember.
Thank you, Matt. You're a bastard.
Love you.
But yeah, I mean, and so what other like serial killers kind of like really sort of stand out to you?
BTK.
Ah yes, bind, torture, and kill. Now that was a sick puppy. But yeah, basically this guy was a complete sick bastard who was. What was the job he did? He was like kind of like a ranger, wasn't he, or something like that?
Yeah, he was.
Something with base animal
control. Animal control.
Yeah. And basically, so like he would select his victims by doing that kind of thing, and it was pretty screwed up basically. But if you stay tuned, we'll explain obviously quite a bit more in episode 6, part 2.